What's up, everybody? Big Cop Diesel coming at you, and I wanted to talk today about the security guard from the Oxford High School shooting in Oxford, Michigan, here about 40 minutes north of me right now. Wanted to discuss the latest news out of that tragedy, and that's about the security guard, the school resource officer, school security guard. Just came out a day or two ago that the lawyer who's representing the families who are suing the school district have requested that the security guard who was on duty that day be included in the lawsuit. And I don't know if I've ever heard of that happening before, and it may have. But you know what? I got to tell you guys, I'm glad it's happening. I'm very glad it's happening, and I hope that the judge does allow her to be included in the lawsuit. And I hope she loses her shirt, flat out. This security officer was at the very least negligent and at most derelict in her duties. Seems like they got her on video during the shooting, casually walking around the school like nothing was going on. At one point, she opened a door into, I believe it was a bathroom, observed some of the kids, some of the victims, one of which was bleeding, and she thought it was fake blood, like there was some kind of drill, an Alice drill or something going on. So she just casually shut the door and kept on walking. This is what she told investigators who are trying to figure out what happened. So there's a whole lot of problems with that. Number one, was there a drill? If there was a drill that day, I could see some hesitation, not knowing if it was real world or exercise. And that's happened before in other situations, most notably 9/11. A lot of the pilots and stuff, they didn't know because they were actually running a couple of exercises that day. So if they were running some kind of exercise at the school, a drill, I can give her about this much of a pass, because she may not have been confident in what was going on. But the question I have with that then is, if I'm a school resource officer and there's a drill going on, and I open a door to a bathroom, and even if I think that there's a kid who has fake blood on them because it's a drill, she reportedly told the investigators that she thought it was good makeup. Okay, but most security jobs, not all, but most security jobs, and I have to assume that any security job at any school are required to be CPR trained and to maintain that certification, because their job would be to help obviously respond immediately because they're on site until EMS can get there. So if she thought it was a drill, why not play along and go in and pretend to give medical care? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. And then she's casually walking around. There were obviously gunshots. So the whole thing just stinks. I don't buy it for a minute. The only other thing I can think of is training. How are these security guards trained? Are they trained? Are they proficient? A lot of security jobs simply require, if it's an armed security job here in Michigan, and I don't agree with this at all, but a lot of these security companies simply require that you have like 1 year experience, customer service, and a CPL. So what that means is I could be a greeter at Walmart for a year, that's customer service, or I could be the person that calls people on the phone about their car warranty, that's customer service, get a CPL, wake up one day and decide I want to be an armed security guard, which is not adequate at all. Now, I do know that the school resource officers, you can't just walk into a job like that. I do know some school resource officers from another nearby school district, and they go through basically a mini police academy because a lot of the laws are the same. They get some firearms training, and they are required to maintain these qualifications at least yearly. They don't get a whole lot of other training, meaning these other school resource officers I know, it's pretty much on them to get more training. So the question is, was she trained in anything? Was she trained? It doesn't seem like she was trained in basic security protocols. Did she not respond the way she should have responded because she wasn't trained? Is it because she is not proficient with a firearm, so didn't feel confident enough to respond? Was she not trained in first aid? And if not, is that why she didn't respond appropriately to seeing somebody who was injured? There's a lot of questions there, and I can't imagine a scenario where anything that she did, and in this case didn't do, is justified. So I want to bring that up and also talk about, and to those of you that are working security now, if you're on a site, I don't care if you've been at a site 20 years, 20 days, you should be going through your exercises in your mind. If where I'm sitting right now, if somebody were to come past me with a rifle, or come up to me with a rifle, or go into the venue with a rifle, what would I do? Think about the other worst case scenarios. There's other things that could happen besides an active shooter. But you got to ask yourself, what would you do? Do you have the skills, the knowledge, and the ability to respond to that active shooter, or anything that happens, a medical emergency, a natural disaster? Would you respond? And if the answer is no, you got to go do something else. Quit and go do something else, because this isn't for you. I've been doing this stuff long enough. I know 99.9% of the time, nothing's going to happen. You go to work day in, day out, say hi to the cleaning crew, say hi to the boss, whatever, give people directions, whatever it is you do at your security job, and that's the way it's going to go. But you can't bank on that. If you are an armed security guard working in a high threat area, so you have to assume if you're carrying a gun, if they are requiring you to carry a gun, there's obviously some sort of threat, right? That even raises the stakes a little bit higher, because do you have the intestinal fortitude to put down an active shooter? Would you? Could you? And if the answer is no, you got to go do something else. I mean, security is easy work, guys. Yeah, we're not guarding missile silos. We're not guarding the Pentagon. In a lot of cases, we're guarding someone's private property. We're guarding someone's business. But they are expecting us to do a job. Now, are there security jobs out there where they want you just to be the face? They just want you to be a visual deterrent? I got to tell you right now, don't take those jobs. If you interview for a job and you find out in the interview that your only mission for this company, because it's what the client wants, is to observe and report, don't take that job, especially if you're armed. All right? I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm going to get compromised. If I'm an armed security guard and I take a contract, a job where they only want observe and report, and there is a situation where I might use deadly force to protect the life of myself or another person, the company's going to hang you out to dry, because they're going to say, hey, we told you, we only want you to observe and report. So because you did above and beyond what we mandated of you, we're not going to represent you. So make sure that you're clear on what the expectation is. I have to assume that if you're a school resource officer at a school with a gun, that the expectation is that you respond and stop the shooter. I've worked armed security gigs right now that aren't schools, that aren't churches, and that aren't hospitals. But they are explicitly clear. If an active shooter comes into this place and starts shooting, we expect you to close with that shooter and put him down. Whether there's one of you, whether there's 10 of you. And the minute I decide that I don't want to do that, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go do something else. So guys, ask yourself, is this something that you're cut? Are you cut from the cloth that you could do this, that you would be willing to do it? Nobody wants to do it. I do not ever want to have to pull my firearm out of the holster. I do not ever want to have to put somebody down, right? But I will. I go to the range on a regular basis. I stay in the gym. I stay physically fit. I stay up on the current laws as it regards to firearms and use of force. I have a copy of every use of force policy from everywhere I've ever worked, going back to the Department of Corrections. I have a copy of every one of them. I have them in a three ring binder, right? So that I can stay aware of what the law says, and what company policies are at wherever I'm at that time. So be thinking about that. The other side of that is being physically fit, guys. You know I'm always going to bring that up. Even in your mind, if you know that you would respond, you'd have no problem responding. The question is, could you respond? There might be a situation where I can't respond, or it's not tactically sound for me to respond. Where I might have to break contact. I might have to hit the nearest door. Can I run and jump over things? Can I duck under things? Can I run? Can I run upstairs? Can I run downstairs? These are things you got to ask yourself. Because if you can't do any of that because of your physical limitations, you got to get in shape. You got to get in shape. And again, at some point, I'm going to wake up one day and I'm going to say, you know, I'm too old for this. I don't feel like I want to run. You know, I don't feel like I want to do any of that. Then I have to stop. I have to stop and retire or go do something else. It all goes together, guys. It all goes together. So this video is meant to kind of critique what happened, armchair quarterback, what happened at that school. Like I said, I hope that they hold her completely responsible, and I hope they take her for everything she's got, because that's going to send a message out to everybody else that you better be on your game. And if you're not willing to do this, there's plenty of other work to do. All right, everybody, as always, stay safe, stay armed, get to the range, get to the gym, don't slack. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree with what I said? Do you agree with some of it and disagree with some of it? That's great. Leave some comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can see the next time I drop a video. And that's it. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.